Welcome in, everybody. We're diving deep today into something you might not expect. We're looking at the power of friendship in pro hockey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about the recent trade of Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins over to the Florida Panthers. We're going to be using an article from the Times of India for this one.
Okay.
And Marchand's story, you see, it isn't just about the goals and the assists. It's about a bond that goes way beyond the rink.
I mean, what's really fascinating to me is how these friendships can actually survive and thrive in the pressure cooker that is professional sports.
Right.
These guys, it's not like they just clock in and clock out. You know, they're on the road together constantly. They face crazy media scrutiny. They're carrying the weight of a whole city on their shoulders.
Absolutely. And the Bruins, they had a pretty tough season.
They did.
Their chances of making the playoffs, slim. So they made some big trades before the deadline. We saw players like Charlie Coyle and Brandon Carlo end up on new teams.
Right.
But it was the Marchand trade that really got people talking.
It did, yeah.
And a big part of that buzz was because of his teammate and close friend, Charlie McAvoy.
Oh, yeah. Now, McAvoy's reaction to this was really telling. He didn't just, put out the standard good luck in the future statement.
Right.
He posted photos of himself with Marchand on Instagram with a broken heart emoji.
Wow.
You don't see that kind of raw emotion every day when a teammate moves on.
No, you don't. And this isn't the first time we've seen McAvoy kind of wear his heart on his sleeve when it comes to his teammates.
No.
Last summer, we saw similar reactions from him when Jake DeBrusk and Matt Grzelcyk were traded. It really kind of underlines the fact that these guys aren't just teammates. They're genuine friends.
Right. And, that just speaks volumes about the team culture that exists in a place like Boston,
Yeah.
They spend countless hours together. I mean, on the ice, off the ice. They celebrate victories together. They endure defeats together. They lean on each other through all the injuries and the personal challenges that come up.
Yeah.
And so Marchand, he heads to the Florida Panthers, the defending Stanley Cup champs.
Yeah. No less.
Yeah.
And in return, the Bruins get a conditional second-round pick in the 2027 draft. Now, if the Panthers make it through 2 rounds of the playoffs in 2025, ND Marchand plays at least half of their playoff games, that pick turns into a first-round pick.
Okay.
Big if.
Yeah.
But here's where it gets really interesting. The Bruins are also covering half of Marchand's salary.
Wow.
That's a pretty hefty chunk of change.
It is.
Especially for a team that's trying to rebuild. It makes you wonder, what's the long-term strategy here?
Yeah, I mean, are they hoping to free up cap space to attract maybe some big-name free agents down the road?
Right.
Or maybe they're banking on Marchand, coming back to Boston as a free agent at some point. It's definitely a bold move.
It's a huge gamble.
It is.
You got to consider the risk. I mean, Marchand, he's a proven star.
Yeah.
He's a game changer.
Yeah.
Giving up that kind of talent, even with the potential return of a first-round pick, that's a high-stakes play.
Yeah.
They're essentially betting on their ability to develop young talent.
Right.
And make some smart moves in the future.
Yeah.
So we've got this backdrop of this major trade and a strong friendship. And then Marchand and McAvoy, they suddenly find themselves on opposing teams at the Four Nations Face-Off tournament in Montreal.
Right.
So it's this high-profile international tournament where national pride is on the line. Marchand is suiting up for Team Canada, and McAvoy is representing Team USA. And all of a sudden, these two close friends are on opposite sides of a very heated rivalry.
Yeah, it's a tough situation to be in. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got to put your personal feelings aside,
Right.
and focus on the task at hand. But I'm sure it's not easy.
No. And, from what we saw, they didn't let their friendship affect their play one bit.
No.
On the ice, it was all business. No friendly chats, no knowing smiles, just pure intense competition. How do you think they managed that dynamic?
I think it speaks to the level of professionalism that's ingrained in these athletes from a very young age. They understand that when they step on the ice, it's about representing their team, their country to the best of their abilities.
Right.
And they're not going to let anything compromise that.
But to go from sharing laughs in the locker room to battling out on the ice for national pride,
I mean, that's
got to take a toll.
Yeah.
Even on the strongest of friendships.
Absolutely. And, it makes what happens next even more remarkable.
Shortly after that intense face-off up in Montreal at the Four Nations, McAvoy suffers a serious injury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We're talking a damaged AC joint and a shoulder infection that lands him in the hospital.
Ugh, shoulder injuries, especially for a hockey player.
I know.
That's a tough one.
Brutal.
And then you add in the infection.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long road to recovery.
It is. And I'm sure you're wondering how Marchand reacted to this news, right?
Yes.
Remember, this is the guy he was just battling tooth and nail with just days earlier.
Right, right.
So Marchand, his response, it kind of really highlights the depth of their friendship. He said, and I quote, "I've reached out to him. I'm going to keep everything personal, but first and foremost, all you care about is the guy's health, and I'm very happy to hear that he's doing well."
Wow. You can really hear the sincerity in his voice.
You can.
Just all that rivalry, the competition, it all fades away.
It melts away.
Yeah, when a friend is down.
Yeah. It's a powerful reminder that even in the most competitive environments, human connection can prevail.
It really can.
These guys, they're fierce competitors,
Oh, yeah.
but they're also human beings who genuinely care about each other.
Yeah.
Think about your own life for a second. Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to compete with someone you were close to? A friend, a sibling, a colleague even?
Oh, yeah.
It's a tough balance, isn't it?
It is. You know, we often think of competition as the zero-sum game.
Right.
Where, one person's success comes at the expense of another. But the Marchand-McAvoy dynamic shows us that it doesn't have to be that way.
No, it really doesn't.
They push each other on the ice, but they also support each other through the ups and downs. And when it really matters, they put their friendship above all the rivalry.
This story really challenges the way we usually think about professional sports.
Yeah.
We often hear about the drama, the rivalries, the cutthroat pursuit of victory. But beneath all that,
Right.
there's this whole other layer of human connection that we don't always see.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're getting a glimpse behind the curtain into the real lives of these athletes. And what we're seeing, they're not so different from us.
Yeah.
They value friendship, they care about each other, and they support each other through thick and thin.
Mm-hmm. And, this insight into their world can actually offer us some valuable lessons for navigating our own relationships, especially the ones that involve competition.
That's interesting. So what can we learn from Marchand and McAvoy about balancing competition and connection in our own lives? So we've been talking about Marchand and McAvoy and how their friendship survived a major trade and some pretty intense rivalry on the ice. But what does it all mean for us? Sitting here listening to this deep dive.
I think it's easy to look at pro sports and see it as this whole other world.
Yeah.
Full of, huge personalities and cutthroat competition.
Mm-hmm.
But really, when you get down to it, it's all about relationships.
It is, yeah.
It's the ones that we deal with every day.
We all have those relationships where competition and connection, they intertwine.
Exactly.
Think about your workplace, right? You're trying to get recognized, maybe you're going for that promotion. But you probably also have colleagues that you actually like, that you respect.
Oh, absolutely. And maybe there's a little, friendly rivalry going on,
Right.
pushing each other to do your best work. But then when one of you hits a snag, you're there to help out.
You're there to pick them up, yeah.
Offer encouragement.
It's that balance.
Yeah, that's the balance.
That Marchand and McAvoy seem to have found.
They have.
It's like that saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Right.
Except in this case, it's not really about enemies.
Right.
It's about worthy opponents.
Yeah. People who challenge you but also have your back.
Exactly.
Yeah. The Marchand-McAvoy dynamic, I think, offers a powerful lesson.
What's that?
Competition doesn't have to be a zero-sum game.
Right.
You can go for it, you can strive for excellence, but still celebrate the successes of the people around you.
That's right.
And when somebody stumbles, you can extend a hand.
Yeah.
Instead of seeing it as an opportunity to get ahead.
I like that. Think about your closest friends, your family.
Yeah.
There's got to be some level of competition there.
Oh, for sure.
Whether it's for attention or approval or even just bragging rights after a Scrabble game. But, those competitive sparks, they don't diminish the love and the support.
No.
It makes up those relationships.
In fact, I think a little healthy competition can actually make those bonds even stronger.
It can, yeah.
It pushes you to be your best. You learn from each other. You grow together. But it's the connection. It's the mutual respect, the support that lets you appreciate each other's victories and, offer comfort when things don't go so well.
So as you go about your day, I want you to think about your own relationships. Where does competition and connection kind of cross paths in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Are there any kind of surprising bonds of friendship or respect that you found within those rivalries?
Oh, yeah. I mean, maybe it's a colleague who really pushes you at work, but is also the first person to offer help when you're, feeling a little overwhelmed.
Right.
Or maybe it's a sibling. You've always competed with them, but you know they'd be there for you no matter what.
No matter what, yeah. Those are the relationships that make life richer,
They do.
more meaningful. They remind us that we're not alone in this journey. That we can go after our goals and still value the people who make that journey worthwhile.
Exactly. And so, we come out of this deep dive with a new appreciation, I think, for just how complex relationships can be. The line between competition and connection can be a little blurry.
It can.
But when it's navigated with respect and empathy, it can lead to something really special.
It really can. Well, thanks for joining us on this exploration of the power of friendship and, in the unexpected world of pro hockey. Until next time, keep diving deep, keep connecting, and keep those friendships strong, no matter how fierce the competition.